We are, of course, are the San Antonio Baylor Women's Council, and we are a group of individuals that come together just to celebrate Baylor. We focus primarily on raising money for scholarships to support our students at Baylor, and I feel like right now more than ever, we have to just be showing our love and support of the students that are working so hard in school. So what's really exciting is that for every single one of you that is joining us tonight, you have contributed to our scholarship fund. So every event that we do, just know that you are paying that forward. Not only is it a fun event to do together, I'm very excited about tonight's event, but it's also this opportunity to come together, right? Like we don't all have $100,000 to put into, a scholarship, but together just our little bits build up, and we have a great endowed scholarship that regenerates from itself and can support 2 Baylor students right now at Baylor University. So if you are not a member of the Baylor Women's Council and would like to join that, hopefully I'll ask Celeste in a minute to put that in the chat. There's a link. It is a minimal fee. I mean, please feel free to make a generous donation if you want to, but it's a minimal fee to join. And then we host events just like this one all throughout the year. So we have some really fun ones coming up in the future. We're going to do an exercise event and a book reading for the kids with our Mama Bears event. So we hope to keep everybody plugged in and involved. So the chat feature is open tonight. So if you want to just take a minute, maybe you can all introduce yourselves in the chat bar and just mention kind of your affiliation with Baylor. Like I said, my name's Kara Mowry, and I serve as the president for the Baylor Women's Council here in town. And I am a proud Baylor graduate myself. I feel very blessed by my years at Baylor. I have 2 daughters. We're hoping that somebody will go to Baylor and continue the tradition. But that's kind of my connection, and I have the privilege of being on the board. I know we have several of our board members with us, and I would love for you to just say hi in the chat, and just so everybody knows who you are. My screen, I may have lost 1 or 2 of you in that mix, but I know I've got, let's see, Elisa Walker's with us tonight. If you can give us a wave. Linda Callender's with us and one of our board members. I'm scanning. I know Jill Petrie's with us. She may have just stepped away for a second. Carolyn Godwin and Anissa Mahone. So we appreciate all that you guys do as our leadership, and thanks for joining tonight. At this point, I would love to introduce you guys to our special guest, Melissa White. I had the privilege of crossing paths with Melissa. I guess it was about 2 years ago. We were just saying at a Hyatt event that we did for a Baylor event, but I have to tell you, I have heard her name many times in the community for the work that she does, not only her contributions and give back, but her incredible creative genius. So I was really excited when I ended up meeting her at an event, and we kind of just threw out, well, wouldn't it be fun to do a really, nice kind of girls' night floral decorating event like we're doing tonight. So she is the principal designer at Botanika. For those of you who picked up your flowers, she's got the card attached to the top of it. So I know I save mine so that I'll have her contact information, but she's an amazing local, business representative here in San Antonio. Like I said, a creative genius, and just does tremendous work with not just floral decorating, but events planning, specifically working with weddings and big events. She's had years of experience, but lots of contact. And I know not just in San Antonio, but all around. And we're very thankful that she's giving back her time tonight for this event. She recently has a son, right, who graduated from Baylor, I believe in December.
Just in December.
Yay, congratulations.
Thank you. Awesome. I'm very proud of him.
Oh, what an accomplishment. So I appreciate that you're a part of this group tonight and you're willing to share with us. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the baton over to Melissa, and thank you so much for being here. This is a big welcome. I know we all have different reactions we can do in Zoom, but thank you for being with us tonight. So I'll go ahead and hand it over to you, and you can get us started.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kara. Thank you, everybody, for joining this evening. Needless to say, we're going to work on a really fun little centerpiece. Along the way, I'm going to kind of show you some additional things that you can do to zest up to your centerpiece if you'd like, and kind of little tricks of the trade as we go along. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. Needless to say, hopefully I'll convey that I love what I do. I've been doing this for about 25 years. I've had my own business. It is something I've wanted to do since I was 10 years old. I've always wanted to be a florist. And actually my background is in interior design and architecture, and it just all meshes together very, very much. So again, feel free to stop me. I'm happy to answer any questions. If you want to know where any flower is from, I'm the person to ask, because I love anything floral, anything design. Also too, I do want to say sick and bears. Yes, my son just graduated in December, so proud of him. And then my youngest of all things, needless to say, was a tough household this week. He is at West Virginia University. So he transferred in as a sophomore and just loves WVU. Absolutely, you know, different campus, but I'm going to tell you, Baylor, I am so proud. They have a great parent organization, and the communication with the university is just really superior. And I've appreciated that over the course of 4 years, and just really looking forward to keeping up with the Baylor Bears. So let's get started with this arrangement. So first of all, let's just review. We have our container, and let's go ahead and begin to unbox that, if you don't mind. Now, as we take it out, you can dispose clearly of the tissue paper in the box. And with your cube, we are going to end up adding our foam. Okay, so what I've done, hopefully you saw your instructions to go ahead and soak your foam. Now, typically this foam is a larger brick, and that brick will hold 7 pounds of water. So it's always really important to at least soak it for a good 5 minutes. Generally, sometimes, you know, our foam will end up not soaking 100%, but you know, once you cut it, if you notice that it's still dry, just let it soak for another couple of minutes. So for those of you, if it's still soaking, I'm just going to show you a little trick. I've grabbed some 14 karat gold spray paint, of all things. Glass can definitely use spray paint. Now, what I've done, the biggest difference is I don't go and buy my spray paint like from Home Depot or Lowe's. That is just really strong and more industrial. I use something that's more along the lines, like you can get it at Hobby Lobby, let's say, in the floral section. They always have it locked up, but it's more for floral. You can spray your leaves, your greenery. I'll show you that after a while. Or if you wanted to spray floral, or more importantly, you know, we get so much. I hope a lot of us get a lot of flowers delivered to us, or we stumble upon glassware. And it generally costs a little bit more money just to have the glassware be in a different color, or gold or silver or copper, what have you. Instead, I do my own. And there we go. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to spray paint this just to show you the difference, okay? So voila, now my container is gold, okay? It's going to dry pretty quickly as well, but this just eliminated me from paying a bit more money just to have a gold container. Again, you can do this in any color. You can buy, if you have blue spray paint or green or any color, and it doesn't, you don't have to spray it that it's so concentrated, like, because then it's going to drip and then you're going to just lose that effect. So just nice and lightly, you just kind of give it a little glaze and then set it down, let it go ahead and just dry for 1 minute. And then we are going to go ahead and take our piece of foam, and we are going to put it straight in. So we're going to go ahead and put it in vertically, not widthwise, all right? And just set it in.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
My floral foam, I've soaked it for, oh gosh, probably 2 hours. It's still very dry, and it was floating in the bowl. I had to weigh it down so it would try to absorb some water. It looks different than yours. I'm not in San Antonio, so I picked up my supplies at a different place. Any suggestions?
Can you show it to me?
I don't know if you can see it. This is my container, ceramic. That's the block. And it said floral foam on it when I bought it. It absorbs some, but it doesn't look like it's absorbed as much as yours. So,
Okay, and it seems like you're tapping it and it's crispy.
yeah, exactly.
Are you sure you didn't get a styrofoam piece?
No, I promise you, it's floral. It sort of disintegrates when it gets wet. I tried to take it out of here, and
Yes,
it's
you're having a hard time.
yeah, it's definitely not styrofoam. But I soaked it out of this, and
Okay.
then I put it in this to make sure it would fit, and then I couldn't get it back out again.
Well, you can get a knife that'll
Mhm.
help you just kind of stab it and it'll help lift that out. But that's interesting. Sometimes foam can go a little bit bad.
Okay.
If it's been stored for a very long time.
Mm.
And then that may happen. I mean, once in a while I stumble upon some pieces that are having a hard time soaking up. So I usually just like puncture it and
Okay.
hopefully then water will go ahead and absorb.
Okay.
Okie dokie. Any other questions?
Melissa, should it be above the top of the container or should it be
Yes.
flush with the
You
top?
want to go ahead and have a little lip that is above the container. Can you see that? Do I need to scoot back? Here.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, so it's lifted because you're going to see, we're going to end up coming in from the side and that will allow you to have more of a cascading effect. If it was flush with the lip of the container, then the arrangement really is just going to be shooting up. So with the young lady that just asked me that question in regards to the foam, that is going to be the issue she's going to have with her arrangement. Because if you notice that foam it was almost below the lip level. So a lot of the arrangement is just going to be like more upright. Okay. So what we're going to grab first of all, and we're going to talk through some various flowers, but you should first of all have this beautiful hook. If you will grab that, please. Yes. All right, so with the hook, you're going to notice there are little tendrils, okay, almost like little branchy parts. So for you, this lower part, do you see that right here? Yes. Go ahead and cut it right at the stem. And you will end up getting several pieces. So I'm doing it again. Does everybody see that?
Concentrating.
Yeah, we'll try to unmute and
Okay.
so that you know we're okay.
All right. So I'm continuing to cut at various spots. And then it's going to leave me with something that's going to look like this. So ultimately, off of that one branch, I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. And I think that I've given you all like 2, but we're going to work with 2 branches, but we're going to work with these smaller pieces first. All right. So what we are going to do is we are going to end up doing a one-sided or one-facing arrangement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place first, and then I will turn the arrangement around so you can just do what I'm doing. All right, that way you can see it from your perspective. To me, a flower arrangement always has a face on it, always. So we'll do a front-facing arrangement, and it will just come together beautifully. All right. So you are going to take your 2 longest pieces that you just cut, your longer tendrils. So you're going to take these 2 pieces and you are going to insert on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. All right. So it should look like that. Can you see that okay?
So they need to be roughly the same size, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Because you're establishing the length of this arrangement early on.
Got it.
Okie doke. So far, so good? Perfect. Are we ready to proceed? Perfect.
We're good.
So then I want you to take another piece. All right, and you will insert it in the back. So when I'm looking at an arrangement, I look at it visually like a clock. All right, so the top to me is 12 noon. The bottom is 6 p.m. Understood? Easy enough? So this piece that we're doing here, we are going to put it at 12 o'clock. So it is going to look like that here at 12 o'clock. And I've angled it a little bit up and towards the back. So a little bit up and towards the back. So let me just keep turning it to the side. So you can see how I'm coming up a little bit, but it's towards the back of our arrangement. Got it? So then you should have two other pieces that are left. Yes? So I want you to put it in. I want you to do 7 o'clock and 5 o'clock. So you have one at 7 o'clock right here, and then 5 o'clock over here. Jamie,
Yes.
do we have a question? I'm sorry, I just saw that you popped up asking a question.
Oh, that was my question about the foam earlier
Okay.
that you've already addressed. My greenery is a little different than y'all's, but I'm making it work.
Wonderful. So you have leather leaf, if you'll show it to me.
Well, I have leather leaf, but I've also got something that looks like this, and I really don't know what it is. It was on a massive stem that she gave me, and I trimmed off little pieces. Can you see it's very wispy?
Ah, yes, yes, yes. You have a form of eucalyptus. So
Okay.
what I would do is I would, yes, that's perfect. Cut it like the one this last one you just showed me.
Okay, so I've gone ahead and used the leather leaf fern around the base of this.
Okay.
Would prefer I use this instead?
No, you can end up, the leather leaf is fine. You're just kind of a step ahead of me. So that's not a problem whatsoever. So use those two pieces of greenery you just had in your hand. Just put them in on the side, like at 9 o'clock and at 3 p.m.
Okay, so use these two.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. So next, I want you to grab one of your roses. Everybody have a rose in hand? Okay, so with the rose, a rose always has protective petals. So when they're grown in the fields, they are obviously they're closed up and they always have a protective little petal or two. So as you can see, we are going to take an outer petal and yank it off, and another outer petal and just yank it off. Understood? Sometimes you need to do a little bit more, but at this point, let's just take two. Got it? So then the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to pave a rose. So just let's take a peek at our current rose. I want you to take the first petal, the first outer petal, peel it back with your thumb and your forefinger. There you go, just like that, Jamie, yes. And keep going around, taking those outer petals, peel them back with your thumb and your forefinger. And you are going to notice the size of your rose is now getting bigger and bigger. See that? By pavéing a rose, you are not going to ruin it in the least bit. So if a petal falls off, it's okay. The other thing you can do as well is you can blow into the center of your rose and it'll start looking like it's growing out in the garden.
Love it.
Super cool. Super cool trick. I love that. It's so fun.
Oh, yes.
Good.
What
Beautiful.
a big difference. So now I want you to cut down your rose. You're going to notice the stem on a rose kind of has like a little notch as it comes down. So from the bottom of the head of your rose, about, let's say 6 to 8 inches, please just give it a cut. Leave the greenery on. Yes, that's perfect. Right about there. Perfect. And I want you to take that rose and stick it right at 11 o'clock, but facing up. All right. And I need for that stem to be firmly in your container of foam with water. That is how this thing is going to last a while. Okay, you can feel that it'll be pretty secure. Yes. Okay, are we good with that? Perfect. Now, I want you to take another rose. So for the deliveries we did today, I included 5 roses, not 2 ranunculus. So these are just going to look a little bit different, but I want you to do the same thing. If you enjoyed pavéing, I want you to cut the same length, and I want you to go ahead and remove the protective petal, if you will. And you can, again, pavé your rose. You will never look at roses the same again. All right, are we good with pavéing?
We are pavéing experts.
All right, so the next thing we're going to do, I just trimmed off maybe a little half an inch to an inch off of my rose because I am going to put it at an angle at about 5:30. And I am putting it nice and snug in my arrangement. Do you see that? And I've tucked it in, and this flower is going to basically be the face of our centerpiece. So at 5 o'clock, somewhere at about 5:30, you're going to put it at a slight angle and then tuck that stem all the way into that foam. That way it's much lower. You can even see how much lower it is from this first rose. Got it? Okay. So then next, we are going to take another rose, and I'd like for you to take off the protective petal, 2 or 3 of them. And this time I want you to go about 8 or 10 inches from the bottom head and then give it a cut. And once you do that, I want you to go ahead and take your rose and put it in horizontally at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m., either way. So it is going to look like that.
So it's on top of that, the green one that we put
Yes.
in, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So in a flower arrangement, really, the flowers are always the feature.
Okay.
And the greenery is just always the supporting cast.
Is it supposed to be like this high up or should it be lower?
Why don't you make it a little bit lower?
It's running into my green. Maybe I should put my green lower.
If you have the opportunity to do that, yes.
Look at how kind you are.
She's like, you need to do that.
If
Like,
you had the opportunity, it's okay to say, Jill, put it lower. Okay. I feel like I'm crunching into something. Here we go. Okay. A little
Right.
better.
Wonderful.
All right.
So then we're going to take another rose and we will do the opposite side. So an 8-inch cut. Take off your protective petal, or 2 or 3. And you will go on the opposite side at 3 o'clock above that piece of foliage. All the way in. That way our arrangement will stay alive. So it will look like that.
So if we got our flowers somewhere else, and so we only have 3 roses, what
Yes.
do you suggest we do for the,
Okay, so what other flowers did you get?
so I have some, so I have the 3 roses, and I can't tell if you can see me because I can't see myself. I have some of the, I've forgotten what they're called, but the smaller roses branching. I have some chrysanthemums, and I have some carnations.
Oh, nice. Okay, so then what I would do, why don't you work with the stem of your carnations? So do
Okay.
one stem at your 9 o'clock and the other at your 3 o'clock.
9 and 3. Okay, I got behind because I had to switch containers.
No, that's great.
So that's fine. Okay, so 9 and 3. And our
Yes,
first leaves are at noon, 6, 3, 5, and 7, right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
We haven't really done 7 o'clock just yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we've done noon and like 5 or 6 was more like 5, and then 3 and 9.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have a few stems of these little yellow ranunculus, and
Yes.
I've got some stems of these spray roses.
Perfect.
Is the idea that whatever's at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock balance each other and need to be the same thing?
I prefer they be balanced for you to see it a little bit better. Do you just have one stem of each?
No. I've got 4 stems of ranunculus. I've got several stems of these spray roses, but I like the other lady, don't have another single stemmed rose.
It's not a problem. So use your spray roses. For this,
Okay.
for this sort of placement, the ranunculars are much more dainty, so I'd like
Right.
to keep them further up in the arrangement instead of being on the sides.
So should I replace the single stem rose that I have at 9 o'clock?
We can repurpose that rose, so yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So next, we're going to grab our 2 spray roses.
Let's see.
All right, you got your spray rose?
I have another question.
Yes, ma'am.
For those of us that have these enormous hydrangeas, should they be at the base of the arrangement or?
I'm so sorry, I didn't realize you had a hydrangea.
Mm-hmm. And if we don't use them, that's fine, but I've got 3 big ones and I can't see where they're going to go that they won't crowd out or dwarf everything else under it.
Yes. Usually when working with hydrangea, it's practically the first thing that I work with because they take so much space.
Right.
So what I would do is your 9 o'clock and your 3 o'clock, go ahead and take those flowers out.
Okay. And these can just stay in a vase in my house. I don't have to use them, but I just thought I'd ask where you'd put them.
Absolutely. Grab 2 hydrangea.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to show you where to cut them.
Okay.
And an interesting thing about hydrangea, just so you'll know, I love to use hydrangea week after week. Sometimes they tend to look a little sheepy. So this is just a little hint. Anytime hydrangea begins to look a little sheepy, just get a bucket of water, cold water, submerge their heads, not the stem, submerge their heads completely in water. Let them soak for about 10 or 15 minutes, then lift them out and they're going to be saturated with water, looking horrible. Then you grab them and you just swoosh, swoosh, and all that weight of the water will come back off. Once you've done that, after you've given them a good swooshing, put them back in a bucket, fresh cut, and just let them open up on their own and they bounce back.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
But now there are hydrangea and there are hydrangea. So you have a premium hydrangea. Those will last really well. There are other hydrangea that tend to be more of a sheepy hybrid. So if anybody's ever worked with hydrangea or seen them in arrangements, sometimes you just end up getting that more sheepyish hybrid and they don't last as long.
Okay.
Okay. So now with your hydrangea, can I see your container just so I don't tell you incorrectly?
Sure. It's not terribly different than yours. I mean, it's a square, it's white, it's ceramic.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, so then where you will cut is right at about where your pinky is.
Okay.
Okay, a little bit further down.
Last question. Are these for floral?
Yes, those are for flowers.
Okay, perfect. All right. All right, so
Where your pinky is a little further up. There you go. And then cut your other one at about that same height.
You're asking good questions because I have the same flowers and all the same issues as you.
Okay.
Well, my foam didn't get wet, so that's why I switched. So I'm glad she asked about the hydrangeas.
Okay.
And I'm embarrassed I have used those wire snips forever thinking those were floral cutters. So now I know.
Well, if you notice that your flowers are throwing a fit, that is why.
Well,
so
a lot better.
I think, you know what, cut off like 1 more inch. And I apologize, that was my direction. On both of them. And then what I want you to do is I want you to take those hydrangea in both of your hands. They have faces on them. So let's see. Okay, put them like this. The one in your left hand, flip it all the way around because it has a spot on it. So just the one in your left hand, flip it around.
Okay.
Okay, so take them both.
Okay.
And then I want you to come in at 9 o'clock and at 3 o'clock, but more upright. Okay, and stick in as far as you can go down. Because they will take a lot of room. Is your foam absorbing water?
You're talking to me?
Yes, ma'am.
The bottom one has a little bit. The top one has none because when I saw how tall yours was, I hurriedly cut a small piece and with little dowels attached it to what I had to raise the height a little bit. So I'm basically sticking it in very dry foam. So I'm hoping when we're through, I can water the heck out of this and the flowers will survive.
Okay, I was going to point that out. They will need water pretty quickly. But
If you're hearing foam crunching, you're right.
well, I saw you with that dowel rod and I'm like, okay, maybe we have a different piece of foam. But you're going to stick them in as far down as you can go.
Okay.
And then that arrangement is going to look nice and tight. And you can almost thread your flowers through the hydrangea really well. Are we good?
Mhm.
All right. And then the next young lady that had the same issue.
I think there's someone else who also has hydrangeas, but I did just go ahead and stick mine in. Oh, I'm going to turn off mute because I've got a phone ringing and everything.
Okay, not a problem. All right, we're ready to move on. So let's take one of our stems of spray roses. And you're going to notice you have these beautiful, it's like you have a stem and then it branches off all on its own. But below that, where you have that separation, I want you to come down to the next little nodule on your stem. Do you see that? Yes. And cut it. And I want you to do the same thing to the next one as well. So then you are going to grab both of these. You're going to put one stem at about 11 o'clock upright between your two roses. Then you will take your other stem and put it at about 1 o'clock and stick it in that foam. And it is going to look like that. So you have 11 o'clock and then 1 o'clock. Do you see that? And Jill, if you are telling me you have the men's basketball game on, what is the score? I didn't realize they were playing tonight. Who has?
I'm a big Baylor sports fan, and it looks like it's 45-36 Baylor. How much time is left, Caroline?
16 minutes.
Second half?
Yes.
16 minutes, second half.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. You want me to tell you if the refs are doing a good job or not? Because I can certainly provide that insight also.
Please let me know that as well. All right, are we good? All spray roses are in? Okay, next I want you to grab your lisianthus. And you should have 2 stems of lisianthus. I end up having 3, but this is a different color. All right, on the lisianthus, you're going to notice that it has your stem and then it has like little growths. I am going to, let me just simplify this. Oops. So I've cut my stem off a little bit, but then from here, I'm going to cut so I have 2 pieces, yes? Okay, so yours meant sometimes lisianthus, their shoots are a little bit shorter, so we can work with whatever you have. All right. So does everybody have a little floret or 2 to work with? I want you to take one and stick stick it in at about 4 o'clock and a little bit more upright. Do you see that? All right. And then I have another floret. I'm actually going to come beneath it at 4 o'clock and put it in. We're almost going to make this look, it's symmetrical, but then it's not going to be symmetrical. And I love asymmetrical arrangements. So you can see we did 4 o'clock with the first one, and then I came below with another one. Okay. Then I think that we should have maybe 2 little buds left. Okay. I want you to take it behind your spray rose at about 11 o'clock. And I want you to have it basically going straight up as much as possible. And I'm going to have you take your other one at about 11, but a lower 11. It's going to be a little bit more obscure, but we're right here, 11, and then my lower 11. And I just broke my 11, but I'll get another one. Let me do this. If you have any other blossoms from Lysianthus, let's add them in. If you have the actual floret, add it in around the 4 o'clock and between the other two that you did. And if you have buds, let's add around the 11 o'clock, if you would. Okay, so far so good? I'm used to teaching this class to, I've done like convention groups with spouses or what have you, and it could easily be 200 people. And it's amazing when you're working on an arrangement. I just kind of get into a zone. I remember one time I was doing my arrangement, looking down, and all of a sudden I looked up and it was just that instant where I was like, oh, I guess I'm on stage teaching this class. I mean, just completely zoned out. So yes, it's helpful that I can keep talking, because other than that, if we were in person, I would almost be really quiet.
Well, this
All
is great.
right. Are we good? Do we have a question?
No, I think we're
Okay.
good.
Great. I want to see Jill's. Where's Jill's?
Because I know.
And she's gonna need it.
All right, our last rose, ladies and gents. I want you to cut it at the first little knuckle, if you would. The first little knuckle, somewhere about where your first pieces of greenery are going to be. So it might be about 3 inches. And I want you to cut it off. So it's going to be about this length. And then don't forget, we take off the petals that protect. And, you know, I've had people actually sit there and say, oh gosh, roses just look so old. And I'm like, no, you always need to take off the protective covering. And then all of a sudden they're just glorious. So if you'd like, you can pave this if you'd like, or you can leave it, you can just blow into it. You can force it open if you want to, just like that. And the person also that, yes, that's perfect, Kara. The person that had carnations, who is that?
Yeah, I put them in instead of the Lucianthus. I don't know if you can see it.
I really can't, but I was going to give you a little hint. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Have you ever want to open carnations? Like you have little mini carnations, but if you have like bigger ones,
Mm-hmm.
they sometimes come really tight. All you do is underneath the floret, it's going to have its little, like that little cup underneath. You
Yeah.
press it really hard and you can force them open.
Oh, okay.
Do is anytime a flower is really tight, just give it a nice fresh cut and put it like somewhere warm.
Okay.
When I say warm, it doesn't have to be in the hot sun on the pavement out in, the driveway, but just somewhere warmer and it'll open up. And also too, flowers, when they're in a cooler, they don't emit their scent. It's not until they are exposed to the heat that flowers will emit their scents, just so you'll know.
Okay.
So we're going to take our rose and we are going to put it at 7 o'clock upright, and we are kind of upright at an angle, but I'm going to shove it in as far deep as I can. Can you see that? So 7 o'clock, and I tuck that head all the way down to the foam. And the reason why I did that is when you look at a flower arrangement, it is, to me, there's just such curiosity when you have different levels of heights within your design. It just makes you go, ooh, ah, your eye just gets drawn to different parts of the arrangement. Whereas if it was just a rounding moundy, it's like everything is all equal and you don't see them in their individual glory. Do you see what I mean? So are we good with that, Rose? Ooh. Come on, bears.
I love the score posting. That's awesome.
I
Floral
know.
decorating and basketball.
Yes. All right, the next thing we are going to take is our eucalyptus. And we are almost getting to the tail end. So we're going to take our eucalyptus. Now, eucalyptus, there's so many different types. This one in particular is called Guinea Euc. Guinea Euc. So Gunni. And there's baby eucalyptus, silver dollar eucalyptus, palpabus eucalyptus, seeded eucalyptus. Eucalyptus can come as tall as 12 feet, 10 feet, 8 feet, you name it. It's very, very versatile. So what I'm going to do is when you look at your branch, I'm cutting this stem right here. All of my stems going up, I'm going to cut them individually. All right. So I'm cutting, and I'm coming up and I'm cutting right at the stem, cutting right at the stem. Do you see what I'm doing? Because it's going to give you all these beautiful little tendrils that you can work with. And then finally towards the top, you should be left like with a little cluster. Okay, so Kira, where you are at with that right here.
My family just laughs because every time it's like me that's getting.
No,
Okay,
so
but
right
I wasn't
here, I'm gonna
following.
put your scissors up and I'll give you some guidance.
Thank you.
Right, go further up,
Up.
further up, further up, further up.
Whoa.
Okay, a little further down, about an inch down.
Okay.
Here, cut that.
Laughing. So,
Okay. And
Like
then,
this.
perfect. Now on that other stem that you had that you were cutting, okay, go down to the next intersection. No, up,
Got it.
up. There you go. Right there. Cut that.
God, I
Okay.
love
Now that's Tim. Put the scissors up. That's good.
Good, nailed it. I'm gonna need a one-on-one with Melissa. I don't.
All right, so now we have a bunch of little tendrils. So when you have some of these that almost look little gibbish, okay, when I say that, you see how pretty this is. You have like two wispy ones versus this one is kind of like a little jib. I'm going to take my little jibs and just put them in the back, because a part of good design is not being able to see your mechanics, meaning you don't see the foam. All right.
So how many little pieces of eucalyptus should we be working with?
Gosh, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I probably have like 8.
Okay, I don't think I'm gonna have it that much.
I
But
bet
you know, I have an extra one of these.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
And if you picked up here locally, I think I gave, there are at least 2 or 3 stems. So you will have plenty. Now, anytime I make my arrangements, I think I was taught to always green first. And instead, I put my flowers in first so they have plenty of room to breathe. And then I add foliages. So are we good with little tendrils, pretty little tendrils? These do not have to be real long in length, okay? So when you're, again, let me grab another. All right, so like on this one, can you see this one pretty well? So what I'm doing, being like my top branch part is broken up here. So all I'm doing is I'm cutting this one right here. And I flipped it around and I'm cutting off the other one. So I'm left with this kind of stem. Do you see that? I don't need for them to be thick. And then to continue on, to salvage this one, I'm not going to use this whole thing. I'm going to cut. So I have this part to use. And this little stick part, I'm just going to discard. Do you see that? So all these pieces, I'm going to start with like 3 in the back. So I'm doing one like at 11 o'clock, then 12 o'clock, and about 1 to 2 o'clock. And I'm trying to use these thicker stemmed pieces because these were the lower parts that should have these sort of shoots. Okay, so kind of a difference is you see how this is just a pretty stem, and then this is almost just like the shoot. Do you see that? So I want to take the shoots that are heavier and put them in the back of my arrangement. That way, you can see them. They're here kind of upright in the back. Again, we're doing a one-faced arrangement. So it's open and airy in the back. And I'm going to turn it so you can see how it's coming up. So I'm coming up, and then on my sides, like 11 o'clock and 1 to 2 o'clock. So it's up and out. Got it? Then once you do that, your other long tendril pieces, the pretty little pieces, you'll go ahead and start tucking them in like at about 10 o'clock behind your rose. So let me show this to you. I'm saying at about 10 o'clock behind your rose that was at 9 o'clock, and below your spray roses that were at about 10 or 11 o'clock. Do you see that? Then once you do that, let's go to the other side and do the exact same thing. It's coming together beautifully. So far, so good? So then I want you to take another piece and we are going to put it kind of like dead center of your arrangement. So I put it right here. And it's a littler piece, okay? It's a little shorter piece, just to kind of fill in. Do you see that? Okay. You still should have plenty of eucalyptus pieces to go. You don't? Do you have other greenery? I can't really hear you. I'll get to that in a moment. You don't have any other greenery?
I have some of that first stuff that we use, so I'm kind of shoving that in.
Okay, perfect. All right, so these other tendrils, I'm taking it at the lower part at about 7 o'clock. And then I'm going to take another one and bring it out at about 5 o'clock. So when I say that, here's 7 o'clock. And here's 5 o'clock. Got it? And then, for those of you that still have a few sprigs left, you can put it amongst your arrangement. That way it looks like it's growing out from the crown of your arrangement, okay? Like it's growing out from the center. And that is generally key with flower arrangements. It looks like it's been growing from that center part out. Okay. Next, we have finally our wax flower. And wax flower is more of a filler. And you can cut wax flower just with a little pinch. All right. Do I need to wait for a little bit? Kara, so far so good?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, so with the wax flower, I'm going to, you see that there's like a little cluster up here. I am going to go ahead and just break it at about this length. A little higher. Okay, and then like I have a little stem here that has some florets. I am going to just pinch it at the stem. That way I still have length. And let's proceed with the other ones just like that as well. So what I'm doing, just so you can see this, is I have this stem, I'm cutting it about right here, here, and here. And I'm not going to use this.
I really nailed this one, Melissa. You'd be proud.
Ooh, I'm so proud of you, Kara. All right, so let's take your taller pieces that you may have, and let's put them towards the back of your arrangement. Again, behind your flowers, like your spray roses that are at 11 and 1. Because again, we have a one-sided floral arrangement. And so you can see that they're right back here, 11 and 1 o'clock. Do you see that? 11 and 1. Now you're going to take another set and you are going to do a lower 7 and a lower 5. So again, a lower 7 and a lower 5. Got it? And I happen to have just like, I don't know, 3 or 4 other little jibs that I will just tuck in. And when you're tucking in, just kind of tuck them in as closely as you can. Because again, it's more of a filler. I just want them to complement everything, not be like a focal point. All right. So just so you'll see, I just tucked them in like here, here in the very front, on the side, just very subtly. Easy enough. So as y'all are wrapping up, does anybody still have quite a few pieces to go? Okay. Then it sounds like y'all did a phenomenal job. What I'm going to show you is this is what I typically do as a florist. To me, it makes all the difference. I use leaf shine. Leaf shine does not damage your flowers, but I spray it on any of my greenery. And it gives it a shine. This is perfect also for your plants in the house. And all of a sudden you can see it gets shinier. Yes. Do you see that? So now it just looks fresher. Then the next thing I do is flowers love water. They love moisture. So what I'm doing is, this is just simply water. I usually use what is called like a Crown and Glory, and it helps retain moisture on flowers. In essence, it makes them last longer. So all I'm doing is I'm giving it a nice little spritz. And then lastly, I use a floral fragrance. And this one in particular is a concentrated fragrance of rose. I have my clients that will sit there and say, I can tell you were here because I can smell your flowers. To me, it's just a little enhancer. I just give it a quick little spray. I just love it. To me, it just finishes everything off. So with that said, what I wanted to do, I wanted to cut some succulents and be able to put them on a stick and shove them in so you can see how easy it is. But considering we had Snowmageddon last week, all my succulents have gone night-night, so they're no longer with us. However, what I did do, I pulled, a lot of us have these in the house. It could be like wheat, okay? So cattail, little dried wheats or what have you. What I normally do is I will go ahead and put them at a different, like a staggered height. Can you see that? I'll stagger. I just give them a little cut. And I'll put them, again, I mentioned I love asymmetrical arrangements. So I put them on one side. And let's just say our little wheats as well. I'm going to just grab them all together, give them a little cut, and I'm going to insert these as well. And you can do this with gosh, basically anything that you may have in the yard. I mean, I always have sago palm, sword fern, succulents, etc. And it just gives it a different little twist. So I've added some cattail and some wheats, and that's it. I could spray paint that wheat any color I wanted. We could have done gold or what have you. So Peter Rabbit Simple is the name of the game, and you've made a beautiful little centerpiece. What do you think? Do you have any questions?
Hooray!
Yay!
They look so good.
Ooh.
So we did ours tonight, Melissa. My mom did one, and my daughter and myself, and they all look really different, but they're all beautiful.
They are. You almost cannot go. Yes, look at that. They turn out so well.
I feel like I want. There's mom. There's mom. We all did them. Look at that.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Great job. Great job.
Those look good.
The most
Look
important
at
part,
Connie's.
please, once we're done, add water and keep adding water as you go along. Every other day, just don't put them in a hot spot, but just keep adding water and your arrangement should be able to last. I would say if something begins to die off, just pluck it out or just trim it out. But other than that, you've learned how to make a beautiful arrangement. Trust me, when I was learning, I used to work for somebody, and from start to finish, from prep until you were done, 8 minutes. I had to make an arrangement in 8 minutes. It didn't matter how small or how large. So usually this process goes much longer. So when we are much quicker. So there are times we're doing convention groups, you have to do 100 arrangements. And I tell you, we can do 100 arrangements in 4 hours or less from start to packing up and finishing. So it can be done. Trust me, you just have to be a little bit more organized, and it's very almost methodical, but you can do 10 arrangements at one time. And guess what? You have 9 more rounds to go, and it's just very quick. It's very efficient, and it's a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed being with you. I would love to do this again. I'm available anytime to do this. Clearly, beautiful arrangement. I hope you enjoy it, and sick and bears.